Hey everybody, and welcome back to the 9 Frames Podcast. This is episode 34, and it is Monday, October 9th, 2023. I am Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
You can catch us always on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. We're on Spotify at 9 Frames. We're on X at 9 Frames Pod. And please catch us on all those places. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, just run up the numbers. Just continue to show support. We really appreciate it.
And we'll get right into what was a pretty explosive start to the divisional series.
We're going to kick the LDS off in the American League with the defending champs trying to defend their crown. They host the Minnesota Twins, who just end horrific playoff droughts in terms of just a game one, which was 18 games, and series, which went all the way back to 2002.
Yeah, hadn't won a playoff game since 2004, hadn't won a series since 2002, like you said, and Houston's coming in feeling great after getting that division crown in the last day of the season.
Absolutely. They get the 5 days rest that everybody should covet, but apparently teams now are complaining about it. I don't get it.
It doesn't seem like Houston complains about it. They're coming off a World Series after having it last year.
I was going to say, they were the number one seed last year, so if anyone should be talking about it, about how important it is, it's probably the Astros.
They seem to like it.
So the droughts are over for the Twins. It's a new era. They're in the League Division Series finally, with a chance to move on again. It's going to be tough because Game 1 was Astros ace and legend, I'm going to say, honestly. Postseason legend, whatever you want to call him, Justin Verlander. He'd be on the mound for Houston, and he'd be taking on Bailey Ober, who wasn't even on the wild card roster because he pitched the last day of the year, as we were saying.
Yeah, we had said it was a bit of a toss-up who was going to start this first game between Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, and maybe Kenta Maeda, and they go with the big man Ober.
They go with, 6'9". We were talking about that. He's
ridiculous to see him next to his teammates, man, because baseball players are big, and he is way bigger than them.
I think he was one of, if not the tallest pitcher in postseason history.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
Unfortunately for Bailey Ober, Altuve would welcome him in rough fashion. On the very first pitch he saw, he sends it out to left field, an absolute bomb to go up 1-0. His first of the postseason, obviously. It was the first pitch of their offense.
Classic Altuve.
He's just a great postseason hitter. Ober would allow two more I think it was the third inning. It was Yordan Alvarez who hit an absolute tank.
Yeah, majestic bomb, as he always does.
The Astros just have so many guys that, like, once the clock hits, or, like, the calendar flips over to October and they're in the postseason, they just wake up.
I was going to say, there's always that debate on if the clutch gene is real, and I think the Houston bats since 2016-17 have been proving that it is very real.
Absolutely. Alvarez's 2-run homer would make it 3-0 Houston, and that would be it for Ober. He would only give up the 3. He would go 3 innings only, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, only 2 Ks, and he would be relieved by Kenta Maeda, like you said.
Yeah, we've been seeing that a lot in the postseason. Texas did it too. We'll talk about that later, where they kind of have the next man up starting pitcher come in later for a couple innings.
The story of this game, though, has to be how damn good Justin Verlander was again in the postseason. He goes 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned. Again, just another quality start from the guy in the postseason. 3 walks and 6 Ks.
Yeah, and like you said, Houston, the bats, they give him an early lead. Obviously, he's the type of guy who's really going to bear down with that, and he did.
Yep. The Stros would also give him even more offensive production with 2 more in the 5th. Courtesy of Jose Abreu and Chas McCormick singles to go up 5-0. Before the Twins would really just... This was after Verlander. As soon as Verlander comes out of the game...
The first inning with him gone, yeah.
Hector Neris comes in, and the Twins quickly in the top of the 7th, in the blink of an eye, it felt like, got a 4 spot. Jorge Polanco hits a huge 3-run homer to cut it to 5-3, and then Royce Lewis hits his 3rd of the postseason already, a solo shot to make it 5-4, and we got a ball game here.
He is having a really special postseason, and the Astros were having a classic Astros postseason dominating game until now. Now they're kind of sweating.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Twins, that's where the offensive production would cease, and the Astros would add 1 more in the bottom of the 7th right after the Twins get that 4 spot, from Yordan, who hits his 2nd home run of the day 2 home runs in the postseason in one game to make it 6-4, and that'll be your final for Game 1. 6-1 Astros.
Special game for Jordan. I almost don't know whether to give him the MVP of the game or Verlander.
Yeah, it's tough. I think I still have to lean Verlander because he gave them nothing to hit.
If you don't get a starter who goes 6 shutout there and the pen ends up giving up 4, I mean, this game is only a 2-run game with his 6 shutout innings, so they both won this game together.
And who's to say that the pen even doesn't give up more than 4?
Obviously, baseball is a team game, and the Houston Astros get it done in Game 1.
Yep, nice 6-4 W. Presley, I wanted to say, was perfect in the 9th inning, allowing no base runners and Kang 2. He just looked dominant.
Yeah, really nice win for the Astros, and they're feeling good. Game 2 home Sunday night.
It's 1-0 Houston now. They rarely lose in the division series.
Very true.
It's like they're in their 6-year streak that they've been in the postseason. They rarely lose games here. So that's a big Game 1 win for the Astros, who are known for just kind of strangling their opponents. Game 2 was definitely much more what the Twins needed. They get a 6-2 win. So this is completely, I would say, on the shoulders of Pablo Lopez.
Oh, yeah, man. He has been dominant since the beginning of the postseason. Really, he had a solid year, but he's been special now.
Yeah, these 2 starts he's had in the Wild Card Series and now the Division Series, this one was even better than the last, man. He goes 7 scoreless, allowing 6 hits, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. He just looked dominant from the start, and Houston couldn't figure him out at all.
Yeah, really fun to watch. They really looked confused at the plate against him.
The Twins, and specifically old friend Carlos Correa, would get to Framber Valdez early with a double in the first to go up 1-0. They would add 2 more in the second from a Kyle Farmer homer. Who would have thought?
That one got out in a hurry, too.
It's quickly 3-0 Twins. Framber Valdez is usually the Astros lockdown guy in the postseason. I think coming into this game, they said he was 4-0 with a 1.88 in his career in the postseason. And
I think that was last season.
The last postseason?
But overall, I think he's in the 2s or the 3s. He's been a really solid arm in the postseason. You're right about that.
In their run, he was sub-2. And he's just been a staple. Yeah. But it wasn't his night last night because the Twins, and again, specifically Carlos Correa, he gets 2 more RBI with a single in the 5th inning to go up 5-0, just like the Astros the previous day. Quick 5-0 lead.
5-0 feels phenomenal in baseball today.
In the postseason as well. I just wanted to say real quick, shout out to Carlos Correa. He passes Derek Jeter and Big Papi David Ortiz on the all-time postseason RBI list. With 63, man.
Really special.
He's not even 30.
No, whether you love him or you love to hate him, man, he is an October legend. Maybe one of the best villains the game's had in a while, too. Baseball needs villains, too.
He's tied 3rd all-time in the postseason's history with David Justice at 63, only behind Manny Ramirez and Bernie Williams.
Phenomenal names to be in the same class of. He was actually, speechless when he heard it originally on the postgame. So, I mean, yeah, congratulations to him. Tip of the cap.
That would end the day for Framber after those 2 singles. He would go 4 1/3, or that 2 RBI single from Correa. He would go 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. So he just really didn't have it last night.
A lot of base runners, 10 total, and 5 of them come across. It's an ugly night for sure.
The Twins would add their 6th and final run in the 7th inning from an Edouard Julien single. And funny enough, the Astros would tack on 2, breaking the shutout up for the Twins. And who do you think it was? It was another 2-run home run from none other than Yordan Alvarez, who has 3 home runs in 2 games now.
Yeah, dominant power bat, man. He's going to get a bag soon.
He already got his extension.
Oh, yeah, he did. Never mind.
Yeah, no, he ain't going anywhere.
The Astros did the smart move. They didn't let him hit that market. Very true.
Yeah, he ain't. There's no chance that he's leaving that team because they're not going to trade him. So the series is heading back to Minnesota now, 1-1, dude. This is what I said the Twins had to do. If they could steal one game in Houston, you get back to Target in front of your fans. It was quite rowdy.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said on the last episode. If you can get here with the split, you liked them in the series. I'm not sure, man. it is the Astros, so it's going to be some hard-fought games.
Game 3 will be Christian Javier, who has no stats yet. This is his first start of the postseason. He'll be taking on Sonny Gray, who is 1-0 with a 0. Gave up nothing in the wild card, as you guys remember. And then Game 4, which is going to be necessary, is still TBD from both sides, so we'll keep you guys updated on the Wednesday episode.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you guys know on the Wednesday episode, because that one will be coming out before they play. So, yeah, I mean, how you feeling?
Real quick, I just wanted to say, I just wanted your opinions. Who pulls this series out? Because it's deadlocked.
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah, no, I'm still sticking with the Astros, man. I like the Twins, I do. It's hard to pick them over a team with so much, like you said.
It just kind of feels like there's a little bit of magic there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's, of course, magic there, and it's been really fun to watch.
They got the nemesis in Correa. They were cheering him, oh, welcome back, and then just 1 game and 2 games into it, now they're booing him.
It's like we said, though. You look at that first game, and the Astros' bats are incredibly clutch. That's not going anywhere. They had 7 hits in this game. This game could have looked a lot different if there was more of a power stroke in it.
Absolutely, and I mean, like you said, you should never count out the Astros given this half-decade to nearly a decade run. I mean, they've just been solid for so long. Yeah. It's kind of hard to doubt them.
My personal original pick on this series was Houston in 4. I kind of see it being more of a Houston in 5 thing now.
4's still possible.
Still think it is possible.
Houston's better.
I don't know if Houston's going to take the next 2 in Minnesota.
They're better on the road than at home this year. They were under 500 at home, so that makes sense that they would lose.
Like you said on the last episode, though, Minnesota has a really explosive environment right now for the playoffs because those guys have been itching to watch their team win.
Yeah, they were very into it in the wild card round, so you'd assume they're going to be just as into it for this one.
I do think the Astros will still pull this series out, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 5 instead of 4 now.
I'm, of course, going to stick with my Twins pick. I feel it. I feel the magic. I hope I'm not wrong about this, and I really want to see the Twins in the American League Championship Series for a couple of reasons. I mean, their fans deserve it. The franchise hasn't been there in God knows how long. So I'm sticking with my Twins pick. You're sticking with your Astros pick.
Definitely.
We'll see how these 2 games in Minnesota and then maybe Game 5 in Houston plays out.
Should be a fun watch. And now talking about one of the National League Series, Philadelphia Phillies visiting who they eliminated last year, the Atlanta Braves, for a great NLDS beginning Saturday. And we have very high hopes for this series coming in.
Absolutely. A couple of division rivals that know each other very well, especially after last year where the Phillies beat the Braves in 4 games in the same exact series. The Phillies got to feel confident, and the Braves, I mean, they also have to feel confident because they just put up 104 wins. How do you not? And the best offense of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're feeling pretty good. They are oddly kind of the only team that's implied they don't love the break.
Yeah, I just feel like, I'm just going to say, I just feel like that team and their fan base just likes to fucking complain. Just for no reason, just complain. You guys are the best team in the league. You have 5 days off. If you can't take 5 days off and recover to beat a team that is far less, you're far superior than, that's on you.
Hey, man, if Houston can do it, there's no reason you can't. That's the thing. And the Dodgers also were in the NLCS last year, so there's not really an argument to be made.
Stop complaining and win a game. How about that? Win the games.
And we were not disappointed. This series did start off hot. It was a great pitcher's duel, which I love those types of games.
I know that is your forte. You do love the pitcher's duel.
Definitely. Fun to watch because, man, defense is one of the hardest things in baseball. Such a small ball to make plays with, and these guys are phenomenal at it. Philadelphia starts Ranger Suarez, but this is more of a committee. He only goes 3 2/3. He gives up 1 hit, 1 walk, gets 4 Ks, not an earned run in that. Jeff Hoffman comes in with 2 outs and the bases loaded and gets a huge strikeout on Michael Harris III swinging. That retires Atlanta in the 4th inning and escapes the jam.
Yeah, I'd say for the most part, Suarez gave the Phillies exactly what they wanted to. Maybe they I know that they wanted him to probably finish that 4th inning.
Yeah.
But shout out to Hoffman for coming in and just getting a huge out.
Huge K. And on the other side, we saw Atlanta start their ace, Spencer Strider. He goes 7 innings pitched, gives up 5 hits, 2 walks. He gets 8 Ks, gives up 2 runs. Only one of them's earned, but the unearned run did come off of a Bryson Stott RBI single after Strider himself overthrew a pickoff of first that inning.
Yeah, It was pretty weird. I was under the impression that if the pitcher makes an error, it would still count as an earned run. But
I thought it would, but he's the only error on the day.
Yeah.
Or no, well, there was another error. That was a catcher's interference we'll talk about later, but he was the only error in the field on the day.
yeah, I don't really know how that's not a second earned run for him, but I mean, regardless, it didn't matter in the end, as we'll get to.
Yeah, Harper takes him deep later on in the 6th for a solo shot to make
That
it
one
2-0. Yeah, that'll end his day later on. He gets another shutout inning in the 7th and calls it. Philadelphia then gets a controversial catcher's interference call in the 8th, and the Braves fans respond pretty poorly, throwing stuff on the field here.
Yeah, I'll give my input on this. First of all, it was not a catcher's interference. I'll be very clear. He did not hit his glove.
It's odd though because the catcher for the Braves, Murphy.
Yeah, he didn't really.
He said that's the thing. He said I didn't feel it, but I heard it. So it sounds like it hits the strap of his glove.
That's crazy. Because I mean, I was watching the game, and even the announcers were like, "I don't see it."
When you zoom in, it kind of looks like it skims the straps of his glove and the straps, but there was no redirection of the bat.
I mean, that can't really. So replay, I guess they called it catcher's interference, and the umpire must have heard it.
Yeah, Braves fans were extremely unhappy with this. Almost a riot at the field, man.
Yeah, they start throwing shit on the field. That's what I'm. That's just like, are you guys serious?
Never a good look for any fan base to do that.
But especially like them. Like, you just won 104 games. It's your first playoff game. You don't get one call to go your way, and you start throwing shit on the field. This is why I want them to lose. Like, it's one of the many reasons why I just want them to lose.
It's a pretty immature way to handle it, but yeah, not a great look.
Yeah.
That makes it 3-0. Philadelphia's pen, though, let's give them some credit. They combined for 5 1/3 scoreless innings, as Kimbrel gets save number 2 of the postseason.
Good.
The win goes to Hoffman, who got that huge strikeout. He only pitched a third of an inning, so that's it. And the L goes to Strider, who goes 7 innings pitched and only gives up 2 runs. It's a tough game for him.
I was going to say it was like the easiest postseason win in history for Hoffman, but that was a pretty large out.
No,
if he doesn't get that out, this game could look very different.
It's not easy so much as it was short.
It was nice for him because he made that one. He got that one out, and that was it for him.
But God, his heart must have been beating for that one.
Bases loaded coming out of the pen in the playoffs, man. That's crazy.
And like you said, bases loaded in that inning. Atlanta only gets 8 base runners in the whole game, 5 hits and 3 walks. So 4 of them were in that inning. And the Phillies, 3 of them were in that inning.
The Phillies, because of Suarez going down so early, had to go to they had to dig in their bullpen. And rookie Orion Keckering.
Yeah.
He was good, man. He looked really good in that first inning. He walked the first guy to start the next inning, and they pulled him. But that first inning, he shoved, man.
Only made his debut a couple weeks ago, so really impressive to see him having meaningful innings against the Braves in the postseason.
That's the kind of call-up and addition to your bullpen because nobody's seen him. They have no idea what he's throwing.
Big guy, too, comes over the top at you. He's tough.
He throws hard, and, I mean, he could be a very big piece and a dangerous weapon for the Phillies moving forward.
Definitely, and the Atlanta bats looked punchless in that first game. They need to wake up. Philadelphia might just have their number in this current group.
Maybe they stopped cheating for the postseason.
I don't know about that. I don't know why they would.
Well, how many times have we seen them get shut out with 5 hits?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
We're going to have to keep our eye on Game 2 here. Game 2 will be...
suspicious, Atlanta.
Game 2 is going to be... that's tonight at 6:07 p.m. Catch that on TBS. It will be Zach Wheeler, who was coming off a phenomenal start last time.
Wheels up.
And he'll be taking on Max Fried, who went... He is coming back from injury here. He's 8-1 on the year, 2.55 ERA, and 14 games started.
I wanted to say it before, but I waited until now. This is the Braves ace. It's not Spencer Strider, and people need to stop.
I guess we'll see.
It's Max Fried.
We'll see what kind of statement he makes here. You might be eating that up on Wednesday if he gets slapped around.
I mean, even regardless of what happens in this game, just looking at their. I mean, he has a .3. I don't know how to say it, but he's 303 in his career.
I know what you mean. He's nearly half a run less, right?
And Strider is almost at a 3.5.
Yeah, it's 3 to 3.5. I understand what you're saying.
62 and 27. I mean, Max Fried is their best pitcher.
Yeah.
He has been for a while.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll keep our eye on that. That's going to be a phenomenal start. a phenomenal matchup of starters. Zach Wheeler's got to be feeling great, and Fried returning from injury. I don't know if that'll make him shaky. He hasn't pitched in a week and a half.
It was a blister, and I think...
he was shut down a week before the season ended, and then they had the week off after.
Listen, I just said it about the rest of them. You're the best team in the league. Mm-hmm. Go prove it. Yeah, stop complaining and whining.
Like we see, though, Fried only started 14 games on the year and had a 2.55, so he was good at
He was still better than Fried, he was good than Strider.
Very good at coming off that injured list and being good. Lock in for that game, and we'll check in on Wednesday for Game 3 and 4 if it's necessary. Taking it on back over to the American League now, as the Texas Rangers, who are feeling very good after really dominating a 99-win Rays team.
Yeah, they've looked really good since the postseason. They have not let that the squandering of the division crown get away from them.
Yeah, they visit the Baltimore Orioles, trying to make a statement to this 101-win team after doing one to a 99-win team.
Top seed in the American League. The reason that the Rays at 99 wins didn't win their division and weren't in this spot.
Yeah, very true, very true. And the Game 1 matchup was not exactly what most people in the baseball space saw happening.
I don't think anybody did, because I think Bruce Bochy made this call like an hour or two before the game.
Maybe even to throw off Baltimore, yeah. They end up going with Andrew Heaney versus Kyle Bradish instead of Dane Dunning. I guess they like a lefty versus Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to critique Bruce Bochy's decisions. I mean, he's proven to be one of the best managers of all time, so...
Now, the move didn't hurt them in any way either, so, I mean, you could call it a good move for sure. Because this game was silent until the fourth inning, where Carter gets a third double of the postseason. Evan Carter, that is, man. The rookie is a stud.
That kid looks like the real deal, man. At 21 years old, he the second person in Major League Baseball postseason history to reach base 10 out of 11 times?
Mm-hmm, yep.
I mean, and he just continues to do it.
Yeah, he starts this game off with an RBI double, and then Jonah Heim scores him to make it 2-0 early in the fourth. Well, I guess kind of middle now.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers, that's the key, though. If you get on the board first, it takes the air out of the building a little bit. You know, people start to get a little restless.
The story of Baltimore's season, though, and they keep it going in this one, they answer in the same frame.
Yeah.
The bottom of the fourth sees a Mountcastle RBI double to cut the lead in half to 2-1. But Bruce Bochy, man, just like you said, he makes the quick move to Dane Dunning. The people that were what everybody thought was going to start this game. He comes in now first out of the pen, just like Baeta did. He ends up walking Aaron Hicks and then gets Adam Frazier, who was pinch hitting, to pop out, and he escapes 2-1 lead.
And Adam Frazier has become one of the more clutch hitters for the Baltimore Orioles this year. Whenever there's runners in scoring position, Frazier he does his job. So that was a tough guy to get out, and Dane Dunning locked it down.
Yeah, that's why they went to him there, and it really worked out. Unfortunately for Baltimore, they moved to Jacob Webb later on in the game with 2 outs in the 6th inning, and he gives up a solo shot to Josh Young. Baltimore responds in the 6th inning again. Same frame, man.
You can't keep trading runs like that.
It's
you
really wild. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's all about that first run, I guess, or the one that they left in the beginning of the game on the base paths. Santander gets a solo shot off Dane Dunning to make it 3-2 there.
That was a bomb. Right off the bat, I knew that ball was gone.
Yep. After that, man, it's really wild. Not what I expected to say. This is a surprising thing to say. The Texas-Penn combination of Will Smith, who was really struggling at the end of the year.
Yeah, he was bad.
Josh Sborz, who's been pretty solid.
He's a hit-or-miss kind of guy.
Aroldis Chapman, who has been abysmal to end the year.
Yeah, he's looked good in the post so far,
And then Jose Leclerc, who, I mean, he's pretty solid. Gets his first save of the postseason here. They go 3 1/3 scoreless together, and they win Game 1 3-2, go up 1-0 on Sunday.
Leclerc's a dog, if you want my opinion.
Oh, definitely. Throws gas. Dunning gets the W in that game, actually.
Yeah, so he didn't even need to start. He still picks up the W.
And Kyle Bradish ends up getting the loss.
Bradish was good, though. I will say.
He was. That's the thing. A lot of the starting pitchers, this will happen in the postseason, too. You'll get a loss, even though you had a great game.
Yeah, his slide ball was moving.
Yeah, he only gave up 2 in that game. So it's a tough loss for him as well. Game 2, though, man, now that Texas is up 1-0, this is the complete opposite of Game 1. An absolute explosion of offense all around. This was Jordan Montgomery versus Grayson Rodriguez, so not where you'd expect to see an offensive explosion. Neither lasted especially long in this one.
Yeah. It was a very different game than what Montgomery went through in the wild card series against Tampa Bay.
That's where he did 7 shutout, right?
Yeah, he went. It was either 6 or 7, but he didn't give up a run.
Yeah. Baltimore bats start strong against Monty in this one, though, as Aaron Hicks stays hot. Gets a double there. A 2 RBI single. Scores 2 to put them up 2-0 in the first inning. Montgomery tight ropes out after that with 2 on and 2 out. Good for him.
I gotta say, though, man, Aaron Hicks has changed. He picked up the Baltimore offense when Mullins went out, and he's just consistently stayed. He looks like himself again, honestly.
He's really been back to his former self since leaving the Pinstripes.
Yeah, he just had to... Sometimes guys just need to change the scenery, and
Definitely.
I mean, him getting to Baltimore has revitalized his season completely.
Yeah, so Baltimore feeling pretty good now that they got a 2-0 lead on what really has been the figurative ace of this Rangers staff. But Grayson Rodriguez did not have it for them tonight.
No, it was a complete dud from Grayson.
Yeah, he gives up a 5 spot in the second inning via a Leody Taveras 2 RBI double and RBI singles by Mitch Garver, Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim. All 3 of them, man. That'll put up a 5 spot on you to lose or to be down 5-2 there. Really ugly inning.
Yeah, and then it's like right when the Orioles got 2 runs in the bottom of the first, they think like the building is loud. And the Rangers do what they do again, and they just take the air out.
Yeah, Baltimore's usually the team that plays the tit-for-tat offense type of thing, and they usually come out on top, but not against this Texas team, man. They really are, or I guess they really were, the best offense in the AL.
I know they went through a little bit of a struggle there, but like I think maybe Adolis and Josh Young missing time is helping them because now they're healthy, and this looks like the offense of old with everybody clicking.
Yeah, instead of those guys coming into the postseason gassed out, I see what you mean.
They're all going.
Yeah, with it being 5-2 in the third inning, it doesn't get any better for Baltimore as the third inning sees Brian Baker start by loading the bags and only recording 1 out. They bring in Jacob Webb again, who for the second day in a row gives up a home run to the first batter he faces, and this one's a Mitch Garver grand slam, an absolute bomb to make it 9-2 Texas.
Yeah, and that would basically be the game there.
In a way, yeah.
The Orioles, they would battle back a little bit, but it would be way too insurmountable at that point.
Yeah, we were watching this game live. We said to each other, it's basically impossible to come back from that deficit because Texas bats likely aren't done in the third inning.
And they weren't.
Nope. The deficit was huge. Baltimore begins to claw back with an RBI single from Jorge Mateo and a sac fly from Ryan Mountcastle. It's been a real bright spot for them to make it 9-4, and they're not dead yet, you know?
No, they're chipping away. I was saying I mean, you can't count Baltimore's offense out. They could put up runs in abundance very quickly.
Very true. Mitch Garver, his name's all over the place. This isn't a great play, though. He DPs, grounds into a double play here, but it gets a run-in.
Hey, man, Mitch earned that DP for... you still get a run-in, and, I mean, the grand slam, he had an RBI single. He had a 5 RBI day with a 6 that wasn't counted as an RBI. So, I mean, shout out Mitch Garver. That was a great plug-in. Bochy again.
MVP of this game, for sure.
Bochy takes out Robbie Grossman from the 3-hole, throws in Mitch Garver, and he gives you 5 RBI.
Very true. That run he gets in on the double play makes it 10-4 Texas. Gunnar Henderson hits a homer off Montgomery in the 5th without him recording an out to end his day. 4 innings pitched, 5 runs given up, only 4 earned because of an error earlier on by Corey Seager. We saw kind of a mental lapse.
Yeah, he just kind of dropped the ball, and he was going to go to third with it, and then he bobbled it, and then he tried to go to first, and it was too late.
The game is silent after that until the 9th inning, so it is 10-4 in the 9th, and the Texas Pen shined again, man. Cody Bradford goes 3 2/3 shutout innings. Shout out.
Yeah, I mean, they need somebody like that in a game like this to give them a little bit of length and innings just in general, because now they're going to be much more rested going forward, and they got a day off today, which is going to help them even more. So, yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Bradford.
Yeah, that takes us over to the top of the 9th where Marcus Semien gets a ground-out RBI to make it 11-5 Texas. They're feeling pretty good going into the 9th. That's pretty insurmountable. That
team, man, when their offense is clicking, they get, even when they're grounding out, they're getting RBIs. They find ways to score.
Yep, and Texas runs into some trouble in the 9th inning as Gunnar Henderson and Austin Hayes get on versus Brock Burke. Leclerc enters to try to fix this problem. Hicks hits a majestic 3-run homer. So that's, 5 RBI on the day for Hicks in a loss here.
Yeah, we were giving Garver his flowers. I know it was in a loss, but shout out to Aaron Hicks. That's a great offensive day at the ballpark.
Hicks 3-run bomb makes it 11-8 Texas, and that would do it for the bats all around. 2-0 Texas heading home to Globe Life Field.
That is a dangerous thing to hear because those fans are going to be rabid on Tuesday, tomorrow night. They get the nightcap as well, so it's going to be a sold-out crowd, and they're going to be loud, and they're going to be just ready to go to the ALCS, man. They're ready.
We were saying, man, baseball is a cruel sport. The Orioles haven't been in the postseason since 2014, and they are backs to the wall right now and not in a great spot at all.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, the Rangers haven't been here in a while, too. It's been 2016, so it's just a couple years less, but I think this is a W of a season for the Orioles, no matter how it goes, because they're getting all their guys up. They've had plenty of games and innings and everything. They're going to just keep building upon this season.
Most definitely.
This is a great first step in the right direction for a team that lost 100 games just 2 years ago.
I definitely agree. I originally had called that Texas would win this series in 5 games. I don't see it going that far. Maybe not even close, if you know what I mean.
I said Baltimore in 5, so the only way I could be right is if they sweep the next 3, and it's going to be a very tough task.
I'm feeling pretty good about Texas in 3 right now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to count the Orioles out entirely because they were the best team in the American League, and they did win a lot of games.
Yeah, the reason I feel so good about Texas's chance here is that Game 3 is going to be Tuesday, and that will be a TBD versus Baltimore versus Nate Eovaldi, who had another dominant start against the great offense of the Tampa Bay Rays last week.
Yeah, if I had to guess, Baltimore's either going to go with Dean Kramer or Kyle Gibson.
I mean, I was
maybe a mix of both.
I was going to lay it out, and I say I don't know if you do that at all, man. Kyle Gibson, he had a 4.73 in 33 games started this year. Dean Kramer had a 4.12 in 32 games started. And then you have John Means.
Means isn't on the roster.
Oh, he didn't make the roster.
Because he's hurt.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because he had a 2.66 in 4 games started, and I would have liked to go to him.
I thought that he might get the game yesterday, but he's not on the roster because he's dealing with an injury again. So it's between Gibson and Kramer, so pick your poison there.
I fear Baltimore screwed, folks.
I mean,
I fear they are.
Maybe I would go Gibson just because... I don't know, because... What?
I'd probably go Gibson just because of experience.
He was on the Rangers, and they know him.
They don't know him that well.
I mean, he was there a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, how well could they know? Like, the bats know him.
It's Kyle Gibson. He's not that hard to figure out.
The catchers are new.
You know, it's like he's not Justin Verlander.
These aren't the catchers he was throwing to, is what I'm saying.
I believe so.
Who?
Heim?
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
Garver?
I don't think he was throwing to Garver.
I'm pretty sure he was. Garver's been there for a couple years now.
Garver still wasn't in his old team?
I mean, he played with him in Minnesota as well.
Oh, yeah, I guess. That's true.
Garver definitely knows him.
Yeah, I don't know. So who do you go to?
I would probably go Kramer and then have Gibson ready. Mm-hmm. All hands have to be on deck for Baltimore, though, because if they lose, they're done.
Yeah, I mean, I basically do the opposite of you. I give a short leash to Gibson, and then Kramer comes out. You give a short leash to Kramer, and then Gibson comes out.
That's most likely what they're going to end up doing, and then they might have to push Bradish to go Game 4. It might be short. I don't know. I don't know what Baltimore's going to do here, man.
And Bruce Bochy, man, you can just sit back and let Nate cook.
Yeah, and then for Game 4, you either go like Perez or maybe Dunning again because he didn't throw that much.
No, he only won a couple innings.
And then Heaney as well. And then you could just go back to Monty for Game 5 if it gets there. I mean, the
we'll
Rangers...
have to see. I mean, Texas is really looking to end this and give themselves a bit of a rest.
Yeah, they could put their foot on the throat tonight and just end it. And to wrap up the first episode of the LDS... it's going to be the Dodgers hosting division rival D-backs in Chavez Ravine for 2 with who I consider one of the greatest pitchers. I mean, a lot consider one of the greatest pitchers of all time, Clayton Kershaw on the mound against Merrill Kelly. And boy, did this not go the way that the Dodgers and their fans thought it was going to.
Nah, yeah, we were looking at this series. Both of us had the Dodgers in 4 in this one. Doesn't feel like it's going that way.
The Dodgers, like I said, send Kershaw. He's not particularly known as a great postseason pitcher. He's got a lot of good statistics in the postseasons in terms of wins and strikeouts, but this one would not go his way at all. He records just 1 out in the first inning, giving up 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, and 0 Ks. How many times do you see 0 Ks in Clayton Kershaw's box score?
No, this was genuinely jarring to watch happen live. It looked like a crime.
The D-backs jump up 6-0 before the Dodgers even get a chance to swing the stick.
Yeah, that's the most brutal thing that can happen in baseball, man. Because the bats, man, I mean, people don't think of it like this, but the bats are standing behind Kershaw watching this all happen.
Like, damn.
Yeah, that's got to be demoralizing.
So then rookie Emmett Sheehan has to come out of the bullpen and do a bulk work. He was all right, but he still gave up 3 more in the very next inning to make it 9-0. And, I mean, dude, what are you supposed to do at that point?
Now, this game was really the rare postseason punt.
Yeah, it was...
Try to save the bullpen for the rest of the game.
It would end up being an 11-2 routing for Arizona over the Dodgers. And I'm just going to run down through the scoring real quick for both teams because it was mostly Arizona. Arizona gets an RBI single from Corbin Carroll in the top of the first, along with an RBI double from Christian Walker to make it 2-0. And then Gabby Moreno, who we were saying, man, hopefully he's healthy after taking that foul tip to the mask, because they need him. He's been great for them this year, and he hits a 3-run homer off of Kershaw in the first inning to make it 5-0. That's his second of the postseason now.
Clearly fully locked in, not shaken up from that foul tip.
And then veteran Evan Longoria is the 6th and final run and the crushing blow to Kershaw's game with his first double of the postseason to make it 6-0. Then in the second, with Emmett Sheehan on the mound, Carroll hits his second homer of the postseason. Gurriel hits his first double to make it 8-0. And then Longo has a sac fly to make it 9-0.
Really cool to see Evan Longoria having such an impact in such a late stage of his career.
Yeah, he's been really good for them, a great veteran signing, and he's played a lot of third base, honestly.
Defense and bat now.
Yeah, that would be it for the scoring all the way until the 7th inning, when Alec Thomas would hit his second home run of the year. That was a great at-bat. I know we were both watching that one. He battled back and forth, and he waited for his pitch, and he got it.
Yeah, he's been really solid for them.
So now it's 10-0. How often do you see the Dodgers down 10-0 in general, let alone the playoffs?
Forget the playoffs.
And to make matters worse, Tommy Pham in the top of the 8th would cap it off with Arizona's 11th and final run with his solo shot, his first of the postseason.
A lot of home runs in this game.
Tommy Pham, I think, was 4 for 5 or something along the lines with a walk. I mean, he was insane this day. He was 4 for 5 with 3 RBI, or no, he was with the solo home run with his RBI. 3 runs scored is what he had. 4 hits, 3 runs scored. I mean, he was phenomenal. And then the 2 runs for the for the Dodgers would come in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it would be courtesy of the Will Smith triple. Very rare you see a catcher hit a triple, but he gets a 2 RBI triple, scores Mookie and Freddie. Not like it matters.
Yeah, weird bounce off the wall. This was kind of just a clawback run. I guess it's good to not get shut out.
Yeah, it's good for morale, but I mean, how good is morale when you lose by 9 instead of 11? You know?
Only 4 hits for the Dodgers bats in that game. That's a demoralizing loss.
Yeah, just like the Braves, they just really don't wake up too much. At least they get a couple, but it's all for naught.
Like we were saying, they hadn't lost to the D-backs since April 9th, and they had won 5 previous matchups in a row against them.
Kelly was great for Arizona, I just want to say really quick, going 6 1/3 with 3 hits, 0 earned, 2 walks, 5 Ks. So he didn't really let them get on base much, just five base runners in 6 1/3. No real threat.
Very solid game.
And the Snakes absolutely have to feel great taking Game 1 in such destructive fashion.
Most definitely. This was dominant for them, and just not at all what I saw coming. They ambushed the Dodgers.
Especially when you fast forward to Game 2 today, the late game. The D-backs are going to be sending their ace, Zach Gallen, on the mound, who's 1-0 with a 3. He looked good against the Brewers after giving up a pair in the first. He settled in and went 6.
Yeah, only 2 he gave up. Gets a quality start in that one.
He'll be taking on Bobby Miller, young rookie right-hander for the Dodgers, who has the highest average fastball velocity for a starter this year.
Postseason debut and the highest velocity. You know he's going to be fired up.
He's going to be amped up in front of his home fans. And the Dodgers desperately need him to step up to bounce back and grab this game tonight.
More than anything, man. Yeah, they need to keep.
You can't be 2-0 going back to Zona.
They gotta not give up so many runs, obviously, but man, the bats gotta wake up too.
Yeah, and so I mean, there's nothing announced for Game 3 and 4 as of this moment, and it wouldn't really matter because we have an episode coming out Wednesday. So when we have more information, we'll update it on Wednesday morning. But as of right now. I just think if the Dodgers go down 2-0 and they're going back to Arizona, they're going to be stunned.
It sounds like if the Dodgers do, they're going to have to decide between Wade Miley and... Or not Wade Miley, excuse me. I don't know why I said that. Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn and Ryan Pepiot.
Yeah, which is like... I think they'd probably go with Lynn because he has the experience and the... just the postseason experience in general. He's
Definitely.
Been there. And you can't really send back-to-back rookies, especially if you're down 2-0.
I also do think that game is going to end up being, like we said in the previous series, whoever doesn't start that game will be backing up.
Yeah, most likely.
So it's probably smart to go with Lynn and have Pepiot come out of the pen and help him out.
Yeah, or they could go with the... I think that's probably what they're going to do. And they might not even need Pepwa because Lynn might just shove.
Yeah, very true.
He's given them great starts in the second half, so why not do it in Game 3 if they need you?
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, the Dodgers need to wake up in Game 2, and if they do, I feel great about their series chances because this is still the Dodgers, and they play the D-backs really well. But, man, if they go down 2-0, that's back against the wall.
We both picked them in 4. It's still possible.
Yeah, I mean, I still see them winning in 4. I wouldn't be shocked if they do, but it's going to depend greatly on the second game,
Yeah,
obviously.
Tonight's game is huge for them, and we will keep our eyes on it and update you all on Wednesday.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening wherever you do. This was episode 34 of the 9 Frames podcast. This is Monday, October 9th, 2023. I've been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
Be sure to always catch us on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. We're on Spotify at 9 Frames. Our X is at 9 Frames Pod. And this was a fun start to the division series. Not what we saw happening in a couple of them. But, man, that's postseason baseball.
Yeah, it's postseason baseball at its finest, and I just can't wait to get these games started tonight. 6 o'clock can't come quick enough.
Yeah, it should be a really fun one. They start at 4 tomorrow for the AL game, so even earlier.
Even better.
Wish we had one at 4 today.
I know, for real.
Yeah, I'm fired up. We hope you guys are fired up as well, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday, which should be kind of wrapping up some series if teams do their work.
Yeah, definitely have potential to wrap a couple series there. Yeah, thanks for the support as always, and we'll continue to push it out.
Start your week off right.